Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary. We're back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about my secondary expectations for 2020. But before we get started, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever it is that you get your podcast. New episodes are coming out Wednesdays now because we got football to talk about. I can't do it on a Monday. I got to wait and see what the teams are going to look like and injuries and stuff like that. So we're going to drop it midweek instead. And of course, wherever you get your podcast, make sure to subscribe, all that fun stuff. All right, let's talk about Patreon, patreon.com/Matt O'Leary NY. You can get a whole bunch of different stuff over there. You got articles dropping, podcasts, live streams, a whole bunch of fun over there. Definitely worthwhile to check out. And Manscaped, manscaped.com. Promo code JETS20 gets you 20% off, a nice discount there, and free shipping on any of their products like the Lawnmower 3.0 with the skin safe technology. I love using it when I shave, and it's truly a tremendous product, so I highly recommend it. All right, so let's talk secondary. We're going to start with the cornerbacks and then get to the safeties. First, we will start with who I believe is going to be the starting outside corner in Pierre De Seer. Pierre De Seer played 12 games last year with the Indianapolis Colts, had 11 pass deflections, 3 interceptions, and a 64.9 completion percentage against. He was okay, but he was better 2 years ago. I'm going to say Pierre De Seer starts 14 games this year. I don't think he's going to start every single one. I think they're going to try to work some of the younger guys in there, like Arthur Mollette, I think, is going to get some time. I also think that Bryce Hall, when he gets healthy at the end of the year, is going to get some time. So I don't think he is going to start every single game. So I'll say 14. I'll say 2 interceptions, 10 pass deflections, and a 60.1 completion percentage against. I'll say he's an okay starting caliber corner. I don't think they bring him back on a second contract. I think this is a rental 1 year. That's it. So I think he'll be okay in his one and only year with the New York Jets. Again, I'd be surprised if he played well enough to get brought back. The Jets have a ton of cap space. I think they look to improve, but to hold down the fort, he kind of reminds me of a Mo Claiborne 1 year kind of deal guy. And I think he's going to be fine in that role. Next up is Bless Austin. He played 6 games, 4 pass deflections, 0 interceptions, and a 62.2 completion percentage. He got benched at the end of the year by Greg Williams, and supposedly he took it really well and used it as a learning experience. He should be the other starting outside corner. I like Bless Austin. I think if he stays healthy, he can be a good player. That's my concern with him. He was so injured in college, and last year he only played about half the season because he was recovering from the injury. He's got to be able to stay healthy. I'm going to say he plays 15 games for the New York Jets this year, 1 interception, 8 pass deflections, and a 58.9 completion percentage. I think he proves to be a decent starting caliber outside corner. I don't think he's a number 1 corner. I think he could be a very good number 2. Maybe he proves me wrong and takes that next step forward significantly, but even if he is just, a solid number 2 corner, that's a great find in the late rounds for Mike McCagnon. In the slot, the New York Jets will have Brian Poole, who they brought in last year to replace Buster Skrine, and what a huge improvement he was last year. He played 14 games, 5 pass deflections, 1 interception, and a 62.5 completion percentage. Arguably the Jets' best cornerback last year, and I think he has a very good season again this year with the New York Jets, and I think he gets re-signed. I think he proves that he is a good starting caliber slot corner, and I think he gets an extension done. So I'll say he starts 16 games, 2 interceptions, 7 pass deflections, and a 61.2 completion percentage. So numbers improving across the board. He is someone, like I said, in my eyes, the best cornerback the New York Jets had on their roster last year, and he deserves to be brought back if he puts up numbers anywhere close or even improves on his year from 2019. I think he does. The 4th corner on the depth chart is going to be Quincy Wilson, who they gave up a draft pick for, a late round pick, a former second rounder by the Indianapolis Colts. This Jets team is really becoming the backup Indianapolis Colts team with De Seer, Henry Anderson, and Quincy Wilson now. But he played 9 games last year, 0 pass deflections, 0 interceptions, and a 72.2 completion percentage against. He was really, really bad for the Indianapolis Colts. I think he'll play about 10 games, maybe 1 interception, 2 pass deflections, and a 67 completion percentage. I don't think he's going to be very good. I'd be surprised if the Jets brought him back. I think they're going to look to improve at the cornerback position in the draft and in free agency next year. They're going to have a ton of cap space, and it's definitely a position that I think needs improvement. But if he's your 4th corner right now in a transitional period, you're probably okay. I think you're in bad shape if he's starting on the outside, but if he's like your 4th or 5th guy on the depth chart, you'll be okay. And I think the Jets can get by with him this year in 2020. That leaves Arthur Mollette and Bryce Hall as 2 guys on this list, on this depth chart, that I think are going to have somewhat of a role. I think they come on and play a little bit down the stretch for this team, more so Hall than Mollette. I don't think Mollette is anything more than just a depth player, but Hall, to me, can be someone who could start on the outside. I really liked him a lot coming out of college. I thought he was really good, and I was happy to see the New York Jets draft him where they did. I thought it was a good find. And I think if he played a full season last year, he's someone that we are talking about in much higher regard. I think he's someone who maybe could have went in like the second round. We'll see what we get out of Hall this year. I don't expect it to be a lot, but kind of like how Bless on Austin came on strong at the end of last year, I think we see something similar with Hall, and that would be chalked up as a win in my book. To the safeties we go. Bradley McDougald, 15 games last year with the Seattle Seahawks, 6 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, and a 54.4 completion percentage against. He was very, very good in coverage. I think he plays all 16 games for the Jets this year. I'll say 6 pass deflections, 3 interceptions, and a 59.5 completion percentage. But despite having a really good season with the New York Jets in 2020, I don't think they will bring him back. I think they will look to move on and start Ashton Davis next year after they extend Marcus May, who I'm going to talk about next. Marcus May was really good for this team last year and an unsung hero when you think of, the Jets secondary. You think Jamal Adams of 2019 and prior. Now it's going to be Marcus May's secondary. He had 16 games last year, 7 pass deflections, 1 interception, and a 50% completion percentage against. He's so good in coverage. He is really good in coverage. I'll say he has 16 games this year, 9 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, and a 53.4 completion percentage. I think he proves that he's worth an extension. It's not going to cost as much as Jamal Adams. It's going to be a reasonable one. Maybe it's around $10, $11 million a year. I'm completely cool with that, and I think Marcus May and the New York Jets agree on something long-term, and it works out. Lastly is Ashton Davis, who I think is going to be rotated in a significant amount. I don't know how many snaps he's going to get, but I'll say like 6 pass deflections, an interception, and 62 completion percentage against. He's a third-round pick. He's very, very athletic. They can't stop talking about him, so I think Greg Williams is going to rotate him in a decent amount, not enough to where it's like making a massive impact on week to week, but there'll be some weeks where he gets some decent reps. And if there's an injury, I think he could slide right in and play right away. I'm excited to see what this kid can do. And I think next year in 2021, it's going to be Ashton Davis and Marcus May. There'll be some rookie bumps along the way. He'll probably get beat a couple of times because he's young. He's just transitioning to the safety position now. He was a track star, transition to the NFL, or to football life. He is going to be a freak athlete. It's just if the football skill can catch up to him. I trust Greg Williams to get that out of him. I think he is going to be a solid find for the New York Jets in the 3rd round. So that does it for my wrap-up on each positional group for the New York Jets. The secondary, I don't necessarily say is a strong suit. And the cornerback, I wouldn't say is that strong. Safety, yeah, that's pretty strong. But I think they can get by. I think they'll have an okay unit. So let me know what you think about the unit down below in the description. You can follow me on social media once again. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll talk to you next time.